What is up? Weekly Metal Reviews here, continuing the Alice in Chains discography, doing something that has never been done on this channel before, and that is reviewing a live album. We just really thought that we should include this in the discography, and we're going to be talking about Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged that they did. The show went down. That was recorded April 10th, 1996, up at Brooklyn Academy of Music's Majestic Theater. And this was part of MTV's Unplugged concert series where they had a bunch of artists, Nirvana, STP, all those, you know, big artists do unplugged sets. I was back when MTV was cool, played music. This was the first Alice in Chains show in 2.5 years. They put out their self-titled, and they didn't tour behind it at all. Lane Staley's drug addiction has just gotten really bad, has hit low, rock bottom, and they didn't tour behind their self-titled. So this was like a treat, them coming together and doing a all acoustic set. They added a member, Scott Olson, who played guitar and bass on one song in this performance. Scott Olson, he's like a recording engineer up in Seattle, I think. He's done stuff with like Deftones and Queensryche. But yeah, let's get into it.
First thing, like, if you really think about it, you watch this, well, there's a DVD, but if you watch that, it's really amazing how talented this band is to not speak to each other really for 2.5 years, at least Lane and the rest of the band, and then come together and play so well and have so much chemistry after 2.5 years. Although they did, Lane screwed up in Sludge Factory, but you know, he got past it. It's very professional. It's funny how he got past it. You know, he joked around a little bit. Cool guys, you know, and like, it's just weird how like that happened, and then Jerry was just like, it's alright, and like nice and everything, and Lane just kind of looked back, and it was like, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those moments in music where it's like one of those things I just won't forget, like how they don't talk for like 2.5 years. They don't have a good relationship at all. You think, oh, Lane just went out of the band. He just wanted to be in Mad Season. No, those guys did not have a good relationship. Like Lane would just like stay in his apartment for like days, and apartment house, whatever. He would stay in there for like days, and anytime Jerry would try, or anyone in the band would try talking to him, it'd just be like no contact. Like after that too, it's so good how to see this band come back and to play such a good whole show. They played so many songs, and it was just so well played. Like I say, it's so much chemistry. Especially from the first song, it was just, from there on, it was great. Nutshell is a very good song that they played live. I definitely like how they played Brother. I like that a little bit more than on the EP. Definitely Down in the Hole, and what else am I thinking here? Wood. They were definitely their star songs in the whole thing. But really, it was just really good chemistry. You take any band and that doesn't really speak, and like after 2.5 years you bring them back. I don't think any band could just put on that great of a show. It was just all acoustic, all just relaxed. It was one of the most relaxed vibes I've ever felt my entire life when I was watching this. But it's just one of those all-time great things. And I would say if this counts as a CD of Alice in Chains, I would recommend this over Dirt any day.
One thing that I really applaud this band for doing in this performance is they took some songs that just you wouldn't really think would be good acoustic songs. To me, Wood is a nice example. And they turn it into such a great song acoustically. Like, every song on here is just flawless acoustically. Like Sam said, there's a lot of just chemistry, and this is just an amazing, flawless performance. Every time I watch this, every time I listen to this, it gives me chills, and it's just, this is one of the greatest performances I think I've ever seen in my life, and I wasn't even there, and I really wish I could have been. They did a new track on here that they never played, The Killer Is Me. That's a good one. They played a couple that you just don't really hear, Frogs. I love that song. That song is so depressing. It's a song that just slips a lot of people's minds about Alice in Chains. It was on their self-titled, and it's got so much pain in it when you listen to Lane sing that song on this performance. I mean, you can really hear and it just surprises me that they didn't perform for 2.5 years, and Lane still sounds good. He's been on drugs for who knows how long, and it's just, his drug addiction is just getting worse and worse, and he can still sing so beautifully, so on pitch. Jerry and Lane they harmonize perfectly on this as well. This is an amazing performance. It gives me chills every time. This is like a performance for the ages right here. They even had a very just bright moment in this, and Mike Inez, the bass player, and Sean Kinney were just kidding around, started playing Enter Sandman. And when you watch this, at least the DVD, Mike has what is it? Friends Don't Let Friends Get Their Hair Cut, or something like that, on his bass. I thought that's kind of funny and cool. This is just a flawless performance. And it's just one thing when you watch the DVD. Lane Staley, he sings for a while with glasses on, and then he eventually takes them off, and sometimes you just see his eyes rolling back in his head, and that really just shows how bad his drug addiction was.
I think at some points in the album, Lane Staley's definitely good, don't get me wrong. But I really think he's been a better vocalist before this album. I think a couple parts in the album, not the album, performance, his voice just sounded really weak and like he was struggling a lot. But overall, I think it's still good. I mean, by all means, I'm not saying it's bad. Just that he was really struggling a lot. But
there's one live CD I recommend from any band. It's this one. I know Alice in Chains has another live one. Forget when they did it, but that one is an acoustic. But I would recommend MTV Unplugged over that one in a heartbeat. This is Weekly Mill Reviews, Alice in Chains, MTV Unplugged. Check it out!